Good evening. Been quite some time since I posted a video. So for people who regularly watch my videos, I apologize. It's been like 2 months. But with discipline by my side, hopefully I can start posting more again weekly, if not multiple times a week. I'm gonna try to get back into that. Anyways, for anyone who doesn't watch regularly and doesn't really care, in this video I'm going to be reviewing Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. This was a great book. I do have some complaints, but for the most part, I enjoyed reading it very much. It's a big book, so I will say, if you're not like that interested in history and like how societies came to be, and like you just want to know like brief summaries of what happened, then this book's not for you because this is a huge book that goes very into detail. And I do admit, as someone who's not like a historian themselves, it does get boring at some parts. Especially when it comes, he focuses a lot on like linguistic, the way like languages evolved and it's cool because he talks about how that helps us track like where societies went, how long they stayed in one place, and how old they are. It's very interesting, but in some chapters he goes very in depth about that. So just be cautious if you're not like a total history nerd. This might not be for you. And I went online and, well, number one, this is a very popular book. It won multiple prizes. It has millions of copies sold, lots of great reviews. So it's a good book. But there's also a lot of people online who you will find who hate this book and think it's full of a bunch of bullcrap. And I can't say whether that's true or not, but just be aware that there may be some stuff that some people claim is not true. There is a lot of hate online for it too. Just be aware that there's varying opinions, but overall it's positive. This book is definitely for somebody who's just curious and wants more knowledge about the world we live in today, and who wants to know how it came to be, or how Jared Diamond thinks it came to be. And he clearly put the work in. I will give him credit for that. He put decades of research into this and had help from numerous sources, and it's very trustable. It's not some guy just going off some crazy theories. He did his work. He did his research, and although it is his opinion overall, or it is in multiple parts of the book, it's his opinion, but it's a very credible opinion and very justified opinion. My biggest complaint with this book, and this is just like the kind of the history nerd in me when it comes to like the ancient stuff, is as important as a lot of the stuff he talks about in this book is towards like how societies evolved, he makes almost no mention of the pyramids or any like super advanced ancient structures that we still today don't know how they were built. We don't know why they were built, we don't know how they were built. It's very clear that there was advanced technology that we lost long ago, and you would think that would be important to mention. You would think that that would be something that had a role on how societies developed thousands of years ago, which is what this book is about basically. Is most of it takes place like thousands of years ago, BC, and a lot of it AD too. But like, there's pyramids in South America too, in Mesoamerica, and he makes zero mention of those pyramids, I believe. And then he mentions like the great pyramids of Egypt like once or twice, and it's not even talking about them. He's just like mentioning them for like just like listing them off. So that's my only complaint, like my own personal grievance about this book. That, and he does get a little excited about linguistic stuff, and it goes on for quite some time, and it can get a little boring. But overall, I'm a more knowledgeable man from reading this book. It's full of good stuff, and my favorite parts, which were very few, unfortunately, were the stories he would tell, like stories of his own personal experiences, or like written like journal stories from like people who were raiding South America. I thought that stuff was very interesting, but he doesn't include very much of it, unfortunately. Most of it's like just studies or analysis of plant species, animal species, all that good stuff. And I thought the animal stuff was really interesting too. He talks about why some animals are not domesticatable and why some are, and how that impacted human civilization, and gives you some really good answers. Then again, you have to understand that this book does get some criticism, but he was trying to answer a huge question, and the main question was why was it Europe that took over the rest of the world? You know, white Europeans, why did they have all the power and all the resources, and why did the other countries get conquered? And so that's a huge question to ask, and it takes thousands of years of history to try and understand it, and he did his best, basically. And I appreciate that, because you do learn a lot from this book. If you're an experienced, most people that hate this book are like experienced historians, and they probably just don't like it because it summarizes a lot of stuff and glosses over stuff, which a book like this has to. You can't cover everything. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. I enjoyed this book very much. It took me a while to read. That's one reason why I've been posting that much. I was very slow at reading this, but I got it done. I learned a lot, and I'm glad I read it. I do recommend reading it. Just if you're someone who's interested in like ancient structures, you know, Göbekli Tepe. I think that's how you say it. It's in Turkey. The pyramids, all sorts of stuff like that. He makes no mention of any of it, unfortunately, and I think that's the only like real failure of this book is like societies were very advanced at one point, and that had to have played a role in how everything came to be, and he just kind of ignores that crazy stuff. So, but other than that, great book. I recommend it. For anyone who's interested in history at all and doesn't have very much knowledge of it, this book's for you. Or who just wants to learn a bunch of stuff about why America is the number one country, or how European civilization became number one, basically, and why the other countries didn't. So, if you're interested in that, I recommend Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. I appreciate you listening. Have a great day.